Welcome to the Artist Corner. I'm Dan Olson. Tonight we are going to be doing a planet pour. I've got my planet kind of sketched out here, kind of curved, trying to add a little bit of depth. I will be bringing light in from this direction. So just instinctively, the colors of my planets, I'm going to be going from light to slightly darker. I got a lemon, yellow ochre, orange, and then just a really beautiful copper. Then I'll be doing a swipe over those with white. And then I've got Prussian blue mixed with black, and then a little bit of red to provide maybe a little bit of fire coming in from the light side of things. Okay, let's see how this goes. I am using Olga Soby's pouring recipe, just as an FYI. I will put a link down in the description for it if you are interested. If you know much about her painting, you know that her consistency tends to run a little bit on the thin side, but also if you've seen her painting, you know how beautiful they are. So we're gonna go ahead and give that a shot. And now we've got our orange. Copper was Artist Loft. I'm coming close to these lines, but it doesn't have to be exact, because I will be doing some finishing work on it. The swipe is white Amsterdam. Let's get some on the back of the paint, of the palette. And then we'll run it with the lip up just a little bit. So I'm just wanting to have just a light covering of the swipe color. As you can see, I'm not really trying to get that color in, just trying to get maybe a little bit of lacing, a few cells. And then down here, I'm going to pull it this way a little bit, whereas on the top I was going pulling it that way. On the bottom side of the planet, I'm going to pull it that way. Torch it just a little bit. This is what I used to make the planet circle. So we will put this back down on top of it to hold its shape. And then we're going to scrape off the excess colors. And they will blend in with the other colors for space. Pull it up here, since those are the brighter colors, since that's where I'm going to try and make it look like my light is coming from. Add our outer space sky. This is a combination Prussian blue and black. Actually am liking the play in colors in there. Let's push this around a little bit. Bring it kind of up here a little bit. You can see it is bleeding underneath. That is not a complete problem because we will be coming in later to work on things like that. Let's bring some of this in. Know that by and large, notice by and large, I am using, other than that red, the same colors that I had for the planet. We're gonna get these colors in, and then we're going to pull out the blow dryer, and then we will play from there. I'm going to add a little bit more of this Prussian blue. Mixed with the black. Okay, got it on cool. I'm starting it on low. Let's come in, push some of these colors around. That's gorgeous. That's looking kind of spacey, isn't it? beautiful shade of green. Let's add I'm actually kind of really liking it, but let's add just a little bit more bright colors in our sky. Painting, you are the one that's in charge. You decide how much, in this type of a painting, how much fire you want, what you want that fire to look like, light, and what the heck. I might even drop a little bit of white in. See what that does. And if I'm not too thrilled about it, we'll deal with that. Yeah, that's nice. You can really see that Prussian blue coming through. A little bit of a torch. There's a few cells to pop right about there. Just trying to torch, not trying to cook. Finger through a little bit. Try to find some of the lines that are already in there. Just try to help highlight them a little bit. Do that. It is certainly fixable. Time I do something to the painting, I'm going to torch it again just a little bit, just in case I created some inadvertent air bubbles. Okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to remove our ring. Or our planet, and then we're going to let it dry a little bit. There you go. We'll do a little bit of touch up there. Yeah. Let's pause on this, wait for it to dry a little bit, and then we'll come back. Okay, it has been a couple of days. I let the paint dry to the touch. As you can see, the paint around the planet shifted a bit. I anticipated that, prepped for it, and so now what we're going to do is make this thing that looks more like a space blob than a planet go back to looking like a planet. That's the intended hope. So I cut out this circle that is just a little bit less than the size of the planet, and I have a little gap there that we can use. I have some Beltico Midnight Black spray paint, and so we're going to use this to try and fill in around here. I am going to try and spray this way because I don't want any paint seeping underneath the template if possible. Apparently the paint made that stand up a little bit, so I will hold it down if I have to. And voila, our planet is back to looking like a planet. I'm gonna let that dry and then see if that needs any sort of touch up. And then I'm gonna show you what we're going to do next. It's gonna be really cool. Now that our space blob is looking a little bit more like a planet again, now we're gonna go ahead and try to make it look a little bit more like a sphere. At the moment, it kind of looks like a flat 2D rendition of the Earth. I know, somewhere out there I have a flat earther going, no, leave it alone. But we're going to try and add a little bit of shading. So here's the inside, or I guess the outside of the circle that I had previously cut. So it perfectly matches the planet. And then here's the inside disc that matches the larger circle. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to line this up right about here and add a little bit of shading. Now, this is the part that concerns me because I obviously, I don't want a solid white line, right? Let me get a new piece of paper. Okay, let me start over here. I want to make sure that I am protecting my planet and my painting as much as possible. So I just want it to be a light shading. I have been shaking this for a while, so I'm going to come from a little bit higher, and I'm just going to go over it fast, like that. Well, you couldn't see that, that was off camera, but it was off to the side of the camera. And here we go. Wish me luck. More luck. Okay. Let's see what that gave us. Okay, so now we have a slight hint of the light that's coming in here. We're gonna wait a little bit, and then I will try to put a dark shade on the back of the planet to make it look a little bit more spherical. All right, there is something that I need to point out. You'll notice I have now covered up the entire painting. When I had done the white swipe, if you rewind this just a little bit, you'll notice that up here I had a white line because my spray paint carried a little bit. Here's the important part, and this actually was intentional. Beltico is a water-based spray paint. What that means, and I'll show you when we're done doing this bottom shading, I took a wet paper towel once I saw what had happened, and I quickly wiped it against the canvas and got rid of that white line. So, water-based paint, if you're going to do this, is kind of what you're looking for. Okay, now that's already relatively dark. And we're just gonna, this time, cover up the entire planet. And again, we're just gonna do kind of a quick swipe. Okay. And let's take off our pieces of paper. And there you go. Now we have the hints of light hitting the planet up here, hints of a little bit of darkness over here. And if you've rewound this, you'll notice that there was a white line that was right around there somewhere, and it is now gone. I am going to wait for a few weeks, and then I am going to put some epoxy resin on this so that all of the vibrant interstellar colors, aurora that's floating around out there, that color is going to pop and come back to life. So just be patient. It's only going to seem like a couple of seconds to you, but it's actually going to be a few weeks. And then we'll finish this one off, and I will show you what it looks like. And as a quick bonus coverage, there's Calder the dog who's serenading my wife who's playing her bagpipes down in the basement. Here is the finished product. You can see it's got a high gloss to it because of the epoxy resin. You got those colors, a couple of cells that got into it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, subscribe, all the good things, and I'll see you in the next painting. Thank you so much for stopping by.